Hello everyone, you are welcome to this Microsoft Excel tutorial for beginners. In this video, you are going to learn everything you need to get started with your data management journey with Excel. Now, just before I get started, I would like to state that I'm using the Microsoft Office 2024 version, which is at the at the time of recording this video, is the most recent version. Microsoft Office 2024, which also means that I am using Excel 2024 version. So I'll advise you to always update your Microsoft Office application in order to be up to date with the most recent versions and updates from Microsoft. So let's get started with the video. Now, first of all, Microsoft Excel is a Microsoft Office application that is used for data management. You can use Excel to manage different types of data, especially numerical or financial related data like budgets and other business related data. So Excel is one of the Microsoft Office applications, and as you can see, it is similar. The environment is similar to that of Microsoft Word, if you have ever used Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint and other Microsoft Office application. Unlike the rest of them, Excel is made up of rows and columns which intersect to form what we call cell. All right, so the rows and the columns in Excel intersect or meet to create these cells. Basically, a cell is a container where you store your data. All right, so but before we go properly into that, I would like to show you what exactly is Excel used for. Is it only used to type? Okay, so now here are the different uses of Excel. First of all, Excel can be used for data entry, which basically means you can use Excel to collect and store data. All right, so secondly, Excel can be used for data manipulation, okay, which means you can perform different types of calculations using formulas and functions. It can also be used to perform data cleaning. Later on in one of our subsequent videos, I'm going to talk about data cleaning using Microsoft Excel, but it can be used for data manipulation to manipulate existing data sets. Thirdly, Excel can be used for data analysis, which is basically studying and interpreting of data. All right, so finally, Excel can also be used for data visualization, which entails displaying or presentation of findings from your analysis. That is, you visualize data in form of graphs and charts or tables or any form of visuals you want to use to visualize your data. So these are the four main uses of Excel. Every single thing you do in Excel can be grouped into under one of these categories. Okay, data entry, data manipulation, data analysis, and data visualization. Now, coming back to the spreadsheet right here, I'm going to start with data entry right now. But before that, I would like to say that an Excel document is referred to as a workbook. All right, and just like your normal exercise book or your textbooks, a workbook can be or could be made up of different spreadsheets, like you can see here at the bottom. Okay, you can have as many spreadsheets as you want inside a workbook. Okay, each of these spreadsheets is going to contain related data sets. Okay, related data. Now let's talk about data entry. Since we have established that Microsoft Excel can be used to collect and store data, so I'm going to show you two different ways you can collect and store data in Microsoft Excel. First of all, I'm going to use the direct method where I will have to type my data or enter my data directly in the cell. So assuming I want to collect data that has to do with sales, like a sales record within a particular time range, I'm going to start by entering my data here. Let's say product name. Okay, we're going to have product category, next we're going to add quantity, then price, and then date. Okay, so the date could be order date or date ordered. Alright, so I'm going to start entering the data manually now. Like I said, I'm going to show you two methods, two ways you can enter data. First of all, you can enter it directly in the cells or in the spreadsheet or on your Excel table, or secondly, you can enter it using a form. Alright, so typing directly is the standard method. So I want to enter my data in my Excel spreadsheet by just typing. So I'm going to go to the product field and then enter. Let's say the product we'll be starting with is milk. Then after that, category is dairy. Quantity, assuming the quantity is 5. Price, let's say 12, and then date. Now let's take note of the date format I'm going to use right here. It depends on the date format of your PC or of your computer, so you have to follow the date format, whether it's day, month, or year, or month, day, and year, or year, month, and day. It depends on which format your PC is set to follow, and it depends on the region where you are currently working from. So according to my region and according to my date and time format, mine is month, day, and year. So I'm going to start with April. All right, then 12 2024. So month, day, and year. All right, now I can enter another product right here. Let's say refrigerator. Category could be electronic. Okay, quantity, let's say 1. Price 1 200, and then date of purchase is going to be April as well. Let's say 28 2024, and so on. So I could go on and on and on until I complete this table. So this time I'm entering the data directly in the spreadsheet, okay, in the table area of my spreadsheet. Okay, so now what if I want to use a different method, say a Microsoft Excel form? This time I'll have to enter the data in a form without having to type it directly in the spreadsheet. All right, now this method could not really be a faster method, but it could be convenient for a lot of people. All right, so if you find this second method convenient, why not use it? It's fine. All right, so to open an Excel form, I'm going to clear this part, the data, and then convert my table area where I want to enter my data to an Excel table. Now this step is not compulsory, but I prefer doing it this way because it helps me to organize my table properly. So after highlighting the area, I'm going to either tap Ctrl T or I go to Insert and then select Table. That is where we convert our selected range to table. So I'm going to click on that, and then my table has headers. Of course, my table has headers right here. So I'm going to tap OK. All right, so this is going to convert my selected range to a table. Now if I need more entry, if I want to expand this table, I can easily do that at any point by dragging down here, or all I need to do is enter my data at the bottom. Is going to automatically expand the table. Okay, so coming back to the entry now, instead of typing my data directly in the spreadsheet like I did using the direct method, this time I'm going to open the form. So to do that, I'm going to activate or click on any cell in my table, and then use the keyboard shortcut Alternate DO if you are using Windows computer, or if you are using Mac, you use Option DO. Okay, so this is going to open your form. Okay, a form is used to collect data from users. So we want to collect the data and then transfer it into the table from here. So I'm going to start from the product again, which is milk. All right, milk, and then sorry about that, milk. Category is dairy. Quantity, let's say 5. Price 12, and then date of purchase, let's say April 12 2024. All right, so after entering my data, now the size of your form depends on the size of your table here, how many fields you have on your table. So it could be more than this. You just enter them one after the other, and then to transfer this data from here into the table, you just tap on new. Okay, this is going to transfer your data into the table, and then you can now start entering the next product, the data for the next product. Okay, so assuming we want to enter refrigerator again, so category electronic. All right, quantity, let's say 1, price 200, that's 1200, like $1200, and then date, okay, let's say April 20th 2024, and so on. So after entering the data, new record again. All right, so I can keep going on and on until I enter all my data on my table. All right, so I can now close this when I'm done. All right, so again, like I said, this method could be convenient for you, but it may not necessarily be faster than the direct method. So you can go ahead and use any method you think is convenient. All right, so that is how you enter data. The two methods, two ways you can enter data into your Excel spreadsheet or Excel table in Excel. So I can just come over here, select a currency. It depends on which currency I'm using. So assuming I'm using the dollar, US dollar, I can just come over here and tap on it. Shortly towards the end of this table, I'm going to show you another way, a different way you can select other currencies. But for now, that is how you enter data. Next, we are going to talk about column data types. Now, what are column data types in Excel? Column data type refers to the type of data you have entered or you are about to enter into certain columns in an Excel spreadsheet or an Excel table. So you are free to set your column data types either before entering the data. That is the preferred method, but you can also set it after you have entered the data. But column data type helps Excel to format our data or our entry based on our selected data type right here. We have different column data types. We have general, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, scientific, and text, which is otherwise known as string data type. So coming back to our data entry sheet, I sped up the process and then entered the data in the table we created earlier, okay, where we have the product, category, quantity, order date, and unit price. So I already have my data type here, but just for the lesson's sake, I'm going to remove it so that I'll show you how to enter that. So first of all, you can set our column data type starting from the column B right here containing the products. If I want, I can select the entire column and then set the data type. But since I have some empty cells here, I think this method is okay. But for now, I prefer highlighting just the area I have my data entered and then go over to our data list of data types. Now, among all these data types, I think I'm going to leave it on general. The reason being that I have a mixture of different types of data. I have text, string, I have number, and then I have special characters right there. So it is more like a general column for mixture of different data types. So I'm going to leave it like that. So coming to column C containing the categories, since we have only one type of data, string, text strings right here, I think I already set that to string. So you can come over here and then set it to text, all right, data type. So quantity, yeah, obviously you have numbers right here, so you can highlight that and then set it to number. But here's what happens when you set your data type to number. It's going to give you two decimal places, that is float format. So to remove the decimals, you can come over here to decrease decimal and tap on it twice to decrease your decimal. Order date. Now you can set it to, since we have the short, this is a short date format, so you can come over to your data type and set it to short date or long date. So if I set that to long date, it's going to give me that I have to expand the column and then I'm going to have my long date format. But I think I prefer the short date format, so I'm going to set it to short date format on the order date. Then finally, which I'm going to take my time to explain this, unit price. Now, since we are dealing with price or currency here, instead of just leaving it like that without adding the specific currency we are working with, I'm going to highlight that. Now, if I need the US dollar, I'm going to just come over here and then tap on that. It's going to give me the currency, US currency, I mean the US dollar or the dollar currency. But what if I'm interested in, or I'm working with other currency, let's say the Nigerian naira, for instance. So after highlighting the entire record, I'll go over there again. First of all, I may just choose this. I may change it to currency or accounting first of all, and then come over to this drop down, select that, and then click on more accounting format. Then from here, this drop down list of currencies here, I'm going to look for my preferred currency, which is right here. I can pick any of these Nigerian naira format. So if I pick this one, for instance, and I tap OK, this is going to give me my currency in naira. Okay, so that is how you set your column data type. It depends on what you have entered or what you are about to enter in that particular column. You set it accordingly. Again, this helps Excel to format your data entered based on your selected data type from the list of data types. Finally, guys, let's talk about keyboard shortcuts. Very importantly, every computer user, not just Excel users, but every computer user must know how to use keyboard shortcuts. All right, so keyboard shortcuts help us to perform actions very quickly without having to look for options at the top on the menu tabs. You just tap a bunch of keyboard shortcuts and it gives you what you want. So I'm going to show you some very important keyboard shortcuts you can use to you can get started with in Microsoft Excel right now. So I have a bunch of shortcuts already arranged here for you. So we're going to start with the first one, which we just finished using. Okay, we just used this in the table we just created or finished working on. Control T is used to convert a selected range of cells into a tabular form or into a table. So I'm going to highlight a bunch of cells right here and then tap Control T. All right, then select my table has headers and then OK. This is going to convert my selected range of cells into an Excel table, which is very, very useful. Okay, so next up, I'm going to teach you a few keyboard shortcuts which can be used to convert data types. All right, so before I do that, I'm going to type a bunch of numbers right here. Okay, I have some numbers right here. Now, the reason why these shortcuts are very important, especially this particular group I'm about to explain, is because sometimes when you download data from the internet, especially from a database, okay, online, it tends to be converted. It is usually converted to numbers. Okay, so I don't know if you have ever encountered that or but when you download data sometimes from the internet, a data set from the internet, it usually converts some of the data to number format, such as these ones. So you will have to find a way to convert them back to their original data types. So these shortcuts come in very useful in that case. So I'm going to highlight these numbers I have entered here, and then the first one I'm going to use here is I'm going to convert these numbers to time. Okay, assuming, okay, let me take them one after the other. So I'm going to select this first one and then hold Control Shift and 2. Okay, this converts it to time format. All right, Control Shift 2. Next is Control Shift 3, which converts the data or the selected number to date format. Control Shift 3. Okay, so next we have Control Shift 4, which converts to currency format. All right, so after converting to currency, you can come over here and then set your preferred currency. So we have Control Shift 5 finally, which converts to percentage. Control Shift 5. Okay, so Control Shift 2, Control Shift 3, Control Shift 4, and then Control Shift 5 converts to these different data formats right here. So next, let's talk about formatting. All right, now formatting is quite similar to Excel table. Okay, this is why I left this on the screen so that I'll show you the difference. Okay, just like Control T helps us to convert our selected range to a table, an Excel table, which can be used for analysis easily. Alternate OA can be used to format or style your selected range of cells. All right, add style or add format. Okay, using colors, fonts, and other styling formats to your selected range. So I'm going to highlight a bunch of cells right here and then use this keyboard shortcut alternate OA or function OA if you're using Mac All right, so I'm going to hold alternate or function, then tap OA. This is going to give me this library of styles, so I can scroll down and look for my preferred styling. So if I pick this particular style, for instance, and I tap OK, this is going to style my selected range of cells in that format. All right, so I can still enter my data as I want, but this is a lot different from Excel table. All right, so this only styles your selected range, okay, gives it good layout or good looks, as we may call it. Okay, so coming down to the next, which is alternate enter. Now you might want to use this sometimes when you are trying to enter data, maybe two different lines in the same column. For instance, I'm going to type two different names in this cell right now. All right, so I'm going to say first name, let's say John. All right, and I would like to enter the next name. It could be the surname, it could be another name, but inside the same cell. Now if I hit enter, this is going to take me to another cell, but I'll come over here and then I'll hold alternate or function and then hit enter. This is going to create a new line inside the same cell. All right, so I can now add another name, let's say Sarah. Okay, enter. This is going to give me both names in the same cell, just on different lines. Okay, so alternate or function enter is used to create a new line in the same cell. Next up, we have Control Shift Plus, which is used to add a new row or new column. For example, I want to add a new column inside this particular table between shortcuts and description. I'm going to click on this column for description and then tap on this shortcut Control Shift Plus. Control Shift Plus is going to create a new empty row in between. All right, how about row? If I click on this row number 7 and I hold Control Shift Plus, this is going to create a new row right in the middle of my table right there. Okay, so Control Shift Plus is used to add a new row or a new column, depend on where you want to add it. You select and then tap your shortcut. Next we have Shift Space. Shift Space is used to select the entire row of the active cell. Okay, for instance, if this is the current cell or the active cell, any cell you select or you tap on is referred to as the active cell. So if I click on this cell and I hold Shift and then tap space, this is going to select the entire row of this cell inside the table. If I come out here and I tap Shift Space, it's going to select the entire row. Okay, also related to that, you can also use Control Space to select the entire column of the active cell. Like this is my active cell. If I hit Control Space, this is going to select the entire column. Or if I come out here and I activate this cell and Control Space, it's going to select everything on this column, including the empty cells right there. Okay, so next we have two important shortcuts which can be used to duplicate rows and duplicate columns. Alright, so I have Control R, which can be used to duplicate a row. So if I highlight this and I tap Control R, this is going to duplicate that particular row. Or I can do it this way. If I select everything on this table, okay, do it this way and then tap Control R, is going to duplicate the entire table, okay, creating new rows right here for me. So if I expand this right now, you are going to see I actually duplicated it twice. Okay, the description column. Now I can also duplicate an entire column. All right, so if I select this, let's say scroll all the way down here and then highlight everything down and then tap Control D, this is going to duplicate that for me. All right, so if I want to use it properly, let's say I have a bunch of numbers 1 2 3 4 and I want to duplicate this exact number down the column, I can just highlight everything and tap Control D. This is going to duplicate them for me. Okay, so these are some of the important keyboard shortcuts you can use in Excel. All right, to get started, there are other intermediate and advanced options that has shortcuts as well. As you go through our subsequent videos, you are going to get introduced to some of those important shortcuts. Okay, so for now, these are some of the things you need to know to get started with your Excel journey. All right, again, just a quick reminder: Microsoft Excel can be used for different things. It can be used for data entry, manipulation, analysis, and visualization. And in this video, we already covered data entry at least to a level. Okay, how to enter data in your spreadsheet. So I'd like you to watch our subsequent videos, and then you'll see how to go ahead with other advanced and intermediate features of Microsoft Excel.